Well, thanks for clicking on to the late edition of Vogan's European Outlook for Saturday, the 8th of September, fast approaching the middle portion of the month. And up until now, it has been a rather changeable setup indeed. But it looks as if there's a couple of interesting little hints towards the middle portion of the month, edging into the second half of the month, uh, a stormier period, and indeed also the potential for something colder coming down as well into the mix. So yeah, the GFS. This is the 500 millibar geopotential heights, and you can see here over the next several days we've got a system to the north of the UK, associated frontal system moving through, and then that will be kicking out. We've got a little bit more ridging coming back into play once again before more systems kind of that very west to east kind of flow firmly a positive North Atlantic oscillation at the moment here, with a fairly strong high to the south of Iberia, over the Azores, of course, and a lot of areas of low pressure cycling around the top. So you can see here, as we push towards the end of the new work week coming up, that we've got a couple of fairly deep areas of low pressure actually that will be edging close to the UK. So it's going to bring potentially stormy conditions as well as some more heavy rainfall. So you see the idea, we're moving well away from the dry theme, becoming a lot wetter as we progress through the month of October. But notice the raising heights up towards the northwest Atlantic, Greenland, and with the areas of low pressure almost toppling down with a trough. That is going to pull in some fairly cold air actually. Now, of course, this is the GFS operational. It's the 12Z run, and it's going to be chopping and changing the overall idea. But I wonder if this is anything to do with the slight weakening that we've seen in the polar vortex in the last week to 10 days or so. Again, that could be attributed to the heat over China. Quite possibly, I believe the tropics have played a role in releasing heat in the upper reaches of the atmosphere, and therefore preventing the polar vortex from strengthening in the typical way you would expect it to do so during the month of October, with winter rapidly intensifying over the Arctic region. So this little blip, this little weakening of the polar vortex may be kind of trickling down through the atmosphere and providing a little bit of a response down within the lowest 20,000 feet of the atmosphere. But you can see here, certainly Monday the 17th of October, we've got that North Atlantic oscillation kind of almost going negative for a period of time, and we've got storminess followed by a legacy of north to northeasterly winds coming down from pretty far north here. You can see here the 850 temperatures with that setup, and yeah, that is a rather interesting look, isn't it? And I have to give credit to my good friend Gavin Partridge. Gavin Partridge, he's been on this for several days now, in fact. And I suppose this kind of throws a little bit of a spanner in the works of what I've been saying as well about the kind of warm, wet theme. But I did emphasise that I need to be cautious with that because there's other factors in play. And of course, when you start to build heights, you start to force the jet stream to become more amplified, more meridional. Then, of course, when you start to tap air from the north, not from the west, off a warm Atlantic, you can have a very different overall theme. But certainly in the time frame towards the end of next week, into the weekend, it could get somewhat interesting, shall we say. This is the GFS Ensemble, upcoming 5 days, actually cooler than normal, if you notice here, which is quite interesting. And then as we play through this GFS Ensemble loop, you can see here the blues can hang on over the British Isles, over Ireland, France, Iberia, warmer than normal central and eastern portions of Europe here. So certainly watch this space. It could get somewhat interesting as we go into this time frame here. Looking back at the overview chart here, so there's that frontal system that moves through during the course of tomorrow, bringing enhanced wind and rain, of course, and that then moves out. We've got a little bit of a bump up in the isobars here, but it's followed by more unsettled weather. So this at the moment is a fairly west to east flow, one system after another passing across the UK, and as you can see here. But then it's all eyes on the time frame towards the end of next week. You can see things changing. We've got another speed max in the jet stream coming off North America, heading across the Atlantic, and that's something that had been shown in the last couple of videos. That moves through. We've got some fairly deep areas of low pressure. Notice multiple centers here that almost congregate into one, and that will be just a washing machine effect of heavy rain, heavy winds cycling around this area of low pressure. But it's all eyes on the build-up of pressure behind this system edging up towards Greenland. You've got that area of low pressure over the British Isles here, bringing a lot of unsettled conditions. But look at the isobars that are coming all the way down from the Arctic and wrapping around this circulation here, which is quite interesting to see. Then if that system happens to slide to the east, you open the door to northerly winds. But notice here areas of low pressure all the way down into Iberia, which is quite interesting. So very, very unsettled theme across, extending all the way from northern portions of Scandinavia all the way down to the Azores and Iberia and France. Very messy conditions. While to the east, we could be talking about more summertime warmth in response, but a very, very wavy up and down pattern looks to develop as we move towards the time frame 15th through the 20th of October. And like I say, is that some sort of a response to the warming that we're seeing within part of the polar stratosphere? I don't know. It might not be linked. Who knows? Could even be a byproduct of just the tropical activity in the last couple of weeks. Who knows? I don't know. But certainly interesting nonetheless. Let's have a quick look and see if the GFS is actually printing out any kind of snowfall across the British Isles, because that would be quite interesting, wouldn't it? So let's play quickly through this loop and see if it indicates anything. We're seeing some over Scandinavia, as you would kind of expect now. But it does look as if it's trying to hint at some snow at least over the mountains of Scotland. Nothing really anything further south than that. So stay tuned. I do appreciate you watching. Please like, share, and if you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.